The
All
link
right,
doesn't
there we
work.
go. Wait, can you hear me?
The link doesn't work.
Wait, can you hear me now though?
Oh, I hear you. I'm just telling you the link
Okay.
doesn't work.
Yeah, I did not know that. Like I was literally sitting over here. I was like, man, it's taking him a while. I wonder if something happened. So I like switched over to the Discord app. When I got to a red light, I was like, oh, that'll do
Yeah.
it. uh, yeah. So the real quick before we get into the rhythm of it, it's a weird week where I can't remember the name of the holiday, but there's some kind of bank holiday that's going on this week. So I'm having to do my paycheck on a Thursday instead of a Friday. So for a little bit, there's going to be a time where you're going to have to carry the podcast for a minute while I handle some banking things in a drive-through.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah.
Big
I
responsibility.
was I was going through my basically I was just going through my normal day, and then I got my paycheck handed to me, and I was like, it's Thursday, and they're like, yeah, the bank's closed tomorrow. I was like, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
So, what you been up
And
to, buddy? It's been a while.
yeah, basically work and playing the games you send me codes for.
That's pretty much what my whole time's been going on like too.
Yeah. Oh my god. I mean, I know I told you like how close I am to beating a game, but I did not think I was gonna get that far that quickly.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just how it goes with these games. There is a game that we might get to today, but if not, basically this episode is gonna have 4 reviews. But if we don't have time to do it in like in this particular recording, I'm just gonna record it like after we're done, like at another point in time, and just like stitch it on like the back of this review. But there's a game called Slay the Princess that I did a review for,
Yeah, all right.
and I fit like that. Sometimes with these review codes, when they send them to us, they give like an estimated like time to beat it, and I got way. I finished the game way faster than they estimated I was going to. I guess I don't know if it's maybe I'm just because like it's a very like text based game. I don't know if I'm just like a really fast reader, but holy crap, I decimated the time they like. I want to say I half the time they gave me.
Damn.
Yeah, uh,
Getting those AR points, baby.
I think that's what it was. Honestly, there's actually a book. Uh, I don't know if you. I don't know if it's a big deal in Chile, but like it's called the first book in the series is called Fourth Wing, and the second book just came out on Tuesday. It's called Iron Flame, and I am trying like a madman to finish the first book because my wife is getting Iron Flame, and thankfully, I don't know. I think it's just a problem with the author did not think that her second book was going to be as popular because she when the book launched and I had ordered both of the like I had bought a special edition of Fourth Wing for her, and then I had also bought Iron Flame, which I was supposed to be a special edition, but I didn't order it in time, I guess. So it got bumped back down to the regular edition, and it literally just shipped today. I ordered these books a week ago, and I reached out to Books a Million. I was like, "Hey, what the hell's going on over there?" And they said, "Look, we didn't expect that it was going to be this popular." And I looked, and no matter where you're ordering this book from, you're like, it's just a crapshoot on like when you're going to get it or not. So like I have the audiobook loaded up on my phone, and I've got to I've got to carve out time to finish the 15, 16 hours left of this audiobook before she gets the book in, which by by the best of estimations, if it goes as fast as it possibly can, I've got until Monday to finish this audiobook.
You got this. You got this.
And then
Also, books are not that big here in Chile, mostly because of random deals the companies made that makes books like extremely expensive to buy here.
yeah, I actually saw just randomly this. I don't understand. There's this guy I follow on Twitter, which is
Yeah.
X now. Uh, he 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 usually like I follow him because he's really good with like sharing. video game news, and also when there's like really good sales, he'll like post them on his Twitter page. So like I follow him pretty like religiously. I have like notifications on my phone set to go off every time he tweets something.
Yeah.
And absolutely randomly, while you were asleep, he just tweeted the conversion rate from Chilean pesos to US dollars. What was the point of this?
Because you need to know.
Well, I know now.
Of course. Well, I said right
Uh,
now, like
I,
900
I,
or
I
about
think
800 for to a dollar.
I think one Chilean peso equals to like 0.0011 US dollar.
Yeah, we usually do it. You usually work it backwards, mostly because there's nothing like stuff you buy is usually like 1,000 pesos or higher. Like
Yes.
our lowest bill is 1,000. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense because I mean, you know, our lowest is the $1 bill. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And
it
also
led me down.
21.
It
It
led
let
me
you
down
down
like an
as
interesting little rabbit hole where I was like, I wonder if I could survive in Chile. So I looked up how much money I make from my current job, which I know wouldn't. I probably wouldn't make as much money doing my job here as I would there.
well,
But
do
like at
you
the
want to
same
share? Because I can tell you how well you live if like I know the amount.
that okay, counting this is counting both of my jobs. Uh, I make about 4,000 US dollars. Well, yeah, about 4,000 US dollars a month.
4,000 US dollars. Oh yeah, you're living fine here,
Well, I might just move the fam down to Chile.
dude. I make a third of what you make.
Oh well, then well I guess it would also depend on how well sign builders are paid in Chile.
I'm just gonna tell you. Basically here we get paid not too much for prices that are going higher.
What is the minimum wage in Chile?
Give me a second. Hilariously enough, we looked this up with a friend not too long ago. It's about $500 a month.
Okay, so what's that net out into US dollars?
No, $500 a month.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, so I would probably, uh, yeah, that, yeah, I don't think so. I would not be making the same amount of money, most likely.
No, probably not. Like I said, shit here gets expensive. Like hilariously enough, like as I've always said, I have no idea how the hell I got to the point I am, but I basically live in like what like 10 like over the higher like 20% of the population.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like shit can get really randomly expensive here for the money we make.
Yeah.
And
And
if you made
speaking of,
like yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, speaking of money, I'm at the bank, so you're gonna hear me say some things. Just ignore me and you carry it for a minute.
All right. Well, given the history lesson, no. Yeah. Just in general, Chile is like not a nice place to live. We have a little bit of an issue with criminal rates and stuff. Uh, a lot of people are kind of pissed off that we got a lot of immigrants from across from Haiti, Venezuela, since a lot of those people, since a lot of those people, personally, like I think like a lot of those people came to work and that's fine, but there's a lot of discrimination about the crime waves that are lately been happening and just blaming it on all the immigrants. It's kind of like I said, it's kind of strange. You get a lot of there's a lot of social divide here on upper class and lower class, mostly since families who have a lot of money have like it's just like in everywhere, like carry way too much power, and it's kind of obvious. Uh,
Deposit.
all right, deposit.
Sorry.
Fun story. Random thing that happened some time ago, just to show the class divide. The owner of gas company basically was trying to throw people off a private beach, of well, not a private beach, a public beach, because he was like, "Oh, it's my property." Though by law it declares that it's by law it's declared that any property that has a beach, the beach is public. So like there's a lot of that going on. A lot of people buying stuff, buying lands they really shouldn't. And actually, the son of the one of the ex-presidents actually was caught in a scheme, like buying buying lands at discount prices, then selling it to the government for obviously a premium. So there's a lot of that going on. I feel that goes on just about everywhere.
Okay,
But
I
yeah,
am back.
all right. How's the deposit?
It's good. I am now not broke anymore until I pay my
Nice.
bills, then I'll be broke again.
I like that we don't use checks here.
Every other job I've had in my life, it's had direct deposit, which is uh very nice because you just wake up on a Friday and you have your money. Uh,
Yeah.
but here, like, I mean, I've been at this job, so like my second job does have direct deposit. So like, I wake up on a Thursday, and that's when my second job's check comes in. Uh, but yeah, ever since I got this job, which I started this job in like 2016, I've been working here since then, and they do not have direct deposit. And it is I make more money at this job than I have any other job that I've ever had. But at the same time, it's very inconvenient that I have to, especially because like there are no branches in my bank that are like on my way home, so I have to go out of my way to go to a bank.
Oh, that's annoying.
But yeah, financial and history aside, we've got some games to review.
Yeah, it
So
was kind of weird hearing that.
uh, so yeah, we're gonna start off with you.
Oh no.
Do you want me to start? I can start. I don't care.
Oh no, I don't mind. It's just kind of funny saying "oh no."
Oh no. Uh, so my first game. Oh wait, no. We're good. We're doing you. We're doing you. So your first game is Sweet Dreams, Alex, right?
Yeah, which I'm sorry if it took me a long to review. I was in a little slump.
It's okay. We all get in those.
Yeah. Well, Sweet Dream Alex, it's what do they call it? A maze builder, labyrinth builder.
That's
Basically,
fair.
it's yeah. Basically, it's a usual 2D tower defense kind of grid game, except no tower defense. You literally just make a maze. With like the whole point
Hmm.
is the kid goes to sleep every night, and you gotta make sure that the nightmares do not have enough time to get to him. Basically,
Okay.
basically you make your maze, and then like you press go, and you see them nightmares spawn from its location, and then it has to do a little lap. Basically, it has to go find the quickest. It finds the quickest way to get to Alex. And the thing is, like if you make the if you don't make the maze long enough, obviously the nightmare gets to him, and he has a bad dream and to lose the level. And well, the idea is to stall it long enough for Alex to dream nice. After like that's what I figured. It was like gonna be like, just gonna put like stuff, just put blocks in everywhere, and I'll be fine. Afterwards, we got nice dreams, which you gotta make sure to speed on to Alex so that when he goes to sleep, he actually gets a nice dream. Get some nice dream,
Hmm.
and that's basically a bonus. You don't have to get the nice dreams. But since I'm crazy, I always try to go for the nice dream as well.
Yep, that sounds about right.
I'm not that crazy. All right,
Oh,
afterward.
I've seen
All
your
right.
completion records.
Yeah, you have. All right. Well, after like you introduce nice dreams, you get like extra speedy nightmares,
They're
which
like, we're
is
going nightmares, but fast.
yeah, which is basically just a little bit more of the same. You just gotta make sure to like make them take even longer routes because they really are like what I want to say 2 or 3 times as fast as the regular nightmares. And then like we got to and then like I finished like the first set of levels, and then when I got to the second part of the second set of levels, we started like getting like interesting like little roadblocks you can use. Like now they introduce streets, which like
Hmm.
no dream can cross the streets without like a crosswalk, which is very nice because nobody does this in my country. Dude, jaywalking expected.
Well,
Well,
I mean, honestly, jaywalking is a thing you should not do in the states, but people do it all the time. They don't care.
yeah, but I gotta say it's a little bit more dangerous over there.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, like I said, people expect it here, so like
Yeah.
it's a little bit safer. All right, going back to the game. So yeah, like the since like now like you got streets, you can make the nightmares have to take long loops around because it's basically it can streets can just divide a map like in so many ways, making it making you like making them you can make them do now even like longer loops around. Then afterwards you get street lights, which is basically
Okay.
just like a block where the nightmare won't touch it unless it's green. At the same time, they also introduce switches, which when like a nightmare steps on it, it changes the color of the light. So now you're starting to get like a little more complex things. So it's like um, well, I've just gonna explain like the thing you get afterwards, which is wires, which basically make it so now you're getting like this whole system of lights, crosswalks, blocks to make them to just you just have to like wrap your mind around how to get the nightmare to go here and there, and you can set up systems to like make them like walk back and forth like 5 times over,
Okay.
and it just starts getting so complex, and that's the part where where I got to, which I really wanted to play more of it, but like I said, I was in a little slump, brain's not working that good, and yeah, it honestly like I know like I've learned a lot of levels, and from what I saw that it has a level editor, so you can just go crazy as well. They have so much more stuff like I haven't seen, so I can just imagine just how crazy the game gets when like you have like everything and you just gotta go wild.
Yeah, I mean, I and you telling me that there's a level editor, I am a sucker for a game with a level editor.
Oh, I love level editors, especially
Do you
I
remember?
just respect them.
Do you remember how insane the one that was in StarCraft 2 was?
Oh god, yeah, I remember playing with that shit.
Yeah, I remember when we were in high school when that game came out. I just remember we would spend days. I think it was either Combray's house. Yeah, it was Combray's house. We would go over there, and I would have my laptop. And I think you would bring your laptop too, and we would just like scroll through different custom games we found.
Yeah, I don't think I never actually went to Combray's house.
I think you might have just been playing multiplayer with us, like over the internet.
Yeah, that's probably it on my PowerPoint mode.
Yeah, I, I think about that laptop's performance every now and then. Like I
uh,
remember I had a really nice gaming PC, and I was like, yeah, I'm playing on epic settings at 60 FPS, and you're like, I'm on potato mode at 10 over here.
oh god, did I ever tell you that basically I melted that graphics card?
I believe it. I honestly do.
Yeah, because I did.
I'm
Poor
I'm
baby.
I'm honestly surprised it didn't happen sooner.
That's a good point.
So, any closing thoughts on Sweet Dreams Axe before we move on?
It's it's honestly a good game. It's very fun. If you love like those little games that like make you really have to think about what you're doing, go for it. Enjoy it. Love it. But don't play if you're in a slump because it will be just kind of it'll be a little frustrating. Not gonna lie.
It won't be a sweet dream.
It won't be sweet dreams, just nightmares, and the fast ones too.
uh, so I've been going back and forth about which game I was going to do first, and I'm gonna put Headbangers Rhythm Royale for my second review, and I'm gonna talk about Slay the Princess first, just because I feel like if we run out of time, I think that you would enjoy hearing about Slay the Princess more than Headbangers Rhythm Royale. Not that that's a bad game. It's still both of the games I have to talk about today are really good. It's just I feel like you would vibe more with Slay the Princess.
Fair,
Um,
fair.
have I ever told you about the No Sleep podcast, or have you ever heard of it before?
I've just heard of it.
Okay, the No Sleep podcast is probably my favorite podcast of all time. It was what got me into podcast. Like, I mean, obviously, the Rooster Teeth podcast was what got me into podcasting and listening to them. But the No Sleep podcast is it was my first time that I subscribed, like I paid money to a podcast. I've been listening since 2018. I'm still not caught up. That's how much content is in. Like if you like it used to be, you would do season passes where you would buy the season pass and it would get you. There's like 25 episodes per season. Uh, and I think if you're not a part of the season pass, you have like an hour, but the season pass episodes have like 2 hours on them. And you get like a bunch of bonus episodes. So like you get like 50 hours of content per season.
Damn.
Uh, yeah, and now it's a subscription plan where you just pay $10 a month and you get everything unlocked. And you get like I'm in the Discord. It's pretty cool. Uh, so this game feels like the closest thing I've ever seen to like a no sleep podcast game because there are only I think this is right. There are only two voice actors in this game. Uh, I'm blanking on I when I go back and I before I post this episode, I'm going to make a note because I'm blanking on the male voice actor, but the female voice actress, her name is Nicole Goodnight, and she is a very prevalent voice actor on the No Sleep podcast. And then the music is done by Brandon Boone, and he does all of the music work for the No Sleep podcast, or at least a good chunk of it. Um, so like when I got the code for this game, it wasn't through one of our websites. I basically got emails like, "Hey, do you want to apply for a code for this game?" It's like, "Yeah," and then I got the code like immediately after I filled out the form. Uh, it is a the best way I can describe it. Did you ever play Scrabble?
Stanley Parable?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It's just like that almost, except instead of moving around, you have like in the Stanley Parable, you have a narrator, and you can either listen to what he's saying, or you can kind of just do your own thing, and it'd be like, oh, well, he turned left instead of right here. And uh, this game, the game starts with the narrator being like, hey, you're going to a cabin, and in the cabin there's a princess, and you have to kill her. And you can either say, all right, let's do it, or you can be like, well, why are we doing this? And the narrator will like go into detail, be like, well, you got to do this just because if you don't, the world's going to end. Uh, there are some truly funny ways that you can go about just messing with the game. Uh, like for instance, if you say no, I'm not going to do it, the narrator's like, look, can you please just fucking kill her? Can you just do it? uh,
Please.
yeah, it's just some funny things like that, and without spoiling anything, you kind of have the game greatly encourages you to try different avenues to kind of basically just try as many different options as you possibly can, and I'm having these pauses because I'm trying to think of like how to not spoil things, but there are ways
It's
where
okay.
there are ways that you could stress the narrator out so much that he'll stop talking to you. And
I like
like
that. I like that.
there are like there are certain ways where you can see things that the narrator can't. So like for instance, when you walk into the cabin in one part, there's a mirror, and you're like, "Hey, I want to go check out that mirror," and there's no mirror, and like you go over and put your hand on the mirror, and the narrator makes the mirror disappear, and he's like, "There's no mirror." And she's like, well, I could tell you that there was indeed a mirror here.
It
Uh,
looks very fun. I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah, and you can see it's got like a pencil sketch kind of art style to it. The
Yeah.
only color you ever see is red, which is a very nice touch. Uh, the
If
game.
it, yeah,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I just remembered the one of the Wii games that was like black and white,
Mad
but
World.
red. Yeah, I always wanted to play it. I just remember that it just looked so nice.
Yeah, I was actually looking at Wii games recently, and that game was so much fun. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so the voice acting in this game is really good. The music is really good. Uh, I played it entirely on my Steam Deck. It's got native controller support, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Um, the only thing that I had an issue with is the game gives you, quite honestly, a staggering amount of options to reply with. So as you scroll down, sometimes the screen does not keep up with the option that you have highlighted. So sometimes you will scroll down further than the screen can see. So you have to kind of fidget with it to get it back to where you want it to be.
Yeah.
Uh, that is the only issue I had with this. Both of the voice actors do a phenomenal job at telling the story. Uh, there are just really intricate things like the princess will, when you get into the basement, will speak to you differently depending on whether or not you. Basically, when you walk into the cabin, there's a knife on the table, and you can choose to go into the basement with or without the knife, and the princess will automatically change whether you walk in there with a knife or without the knife. And there, quite frankly, there are a staggering amount of branching paths in this game. And if you really just take the time to have fun with it and explore the different paths, it is a just a fantastic time. I want to say that the developer for this game has one more game out. So, like, if you just look up Slay the Princess, they have another game before this one. Uh, this is a fantastic game. I can't recommend it enough, especially if you like choose your own adventure storylines. If you like horror, if you're a fan of the No Sleep podcast, this is a game that I wholeheartedly recommend.
Yeah. I can definitely see it after looking it up. Very, very
Yeah.
positive reviews.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic game. And so just a little bit of a transition. You are wanting to review that other game, right? You're wanting to do that one on this episode.
I mean, if you want me to, I'll do it.
Okay, cool. Because the the way the email for this game came in, it kind of trolled both of us because
Yeah.
the code is for Blasphemous 2. I had requested this game for you, and I want to say that okay, yeah, the website that we requested this game through has an option where if it's on multiple platforms, um, I just have it selected every time. Where basically, if I were to say, hey, I want this game on PC, and they don't have any PC codes, they look at like all the other platforms that I have listed, and it'll be like, okay, well, we don't have PC codes, but here's a Switch code, and for for a second like, okay, I told Leo, I was like, hey, we got a Blasphemous 2 key in, and you were so excited. And then for some reason, the email was talking about Switch codes, and I was like, I'm so sorry. It says it's for Switch code. And then 5 seconds after that, I clicked on the link. So now,
I was sad.
dude, I was reading the Switch code part when you sent me the message back. It's like, oh my god, yes, and I was like, oh my god, ass planet. And then, like, after I clicked the link, it said it was indeed a PC code. And I was like, all right, false alarm again. I'm so sorry. It's a PC code here. You go. So,
Roller
Blasphemous
coaster.
2, I mean, this was on your wish list. So,
Yeah.
what?
Honestly, it's just such a I feel it's such a good step up from the first one. Uh, first things first things off, like you start off being able to choose from 1 to 3 weapons, which the other two you get as you go through the game, and each one helps you clear a different kind of obstacle in the world, which is just prime Metroidvania shit.
Mhm.
And it's not even like straightforward, like you need to use this weapon to destroy this. They interact with the world in different ways. Like the sword has a ground slam that can destroy certain obstacles. The what is it? The the two rapiers, they can help you teleport through some using some mirrors, and the big hammer hits bells, which makes certain platforms appear here and there. So you can like shoot, depending on what you use, you can do different like puzzles puzzles in the world as you go in different orders, which honestly, replay wise, I feel that's pretty cool. Then I kind of stuck with the swords because I always like the more balanced weapons,
Mhm.
because the hammer is slow but you can't block, and it hits really hard too, which is nice. But like you can't block, and I like being able to block. The rapiers, they can block, but I feel that they don't do as much damage unless you get a couple upgrades here and there to get them like really working.
Yeah.
And yeah, the save the later on, basically, I found that the sword basically has best, in my opinion at least, the best parry window. So I was just it just helped me through so much. I'm almost like I was telling you, I'm at like the last few bosses. I got 99% of the map explored. I've gone basically I've gotten most collectibles, and I've been going out of my way just to be able to beat this game like with no issues. And just as I was telling you, just
That's
I like
awesome. And
Castlevanias, and
how's the difficulty?
uh, it is difficult. I will give it that much.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Isn't it?
like up there with like Blasphemous one. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I had asked you how the difficulty was, and the connection kind of dropped out, so I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay, my bad. I just like as difficult as Blasphemous one, but I feel it feels how can I say it, like fair, because Blasphemous one, I remember like being very pissed off at some boss fights, some levels, because it's just kind of like parry window stuff. Just kind of didn't feel like as fair. But here it's just it always feels like, oh, I didn't like I should have like paid more attention here, there, blah blah blah. Also, like I might be stupid about how I played Blasphemous one, but Blasphemous one was so confusing as to like where to like go, so like you can get like different endings. Because I don't like I said, I don't know if I was stupid about it, but like I know like to get like the best ending, you have to make sure to do like a couple things in order. But Blasphemous 2, like they simplify that so much. And I don't want to give away like what you have to do for spoiler reasons. But like I've been able to find like 99% of like the stuff in the world without guides.
Nice.
Yeah, like I am really surprised how well I did. Like I remember like what was it 2 days ago I told you I was like trying to fight a boss with like without taking damage.
Yeah.
Hello. All right. Yeah. So yeah, and that was like what supposed to be like that was like the second real boss I fought, and at this point I'm
The
and now
signal's really
and
bad
now
for some
I'm
reason.
yeah. Sometimes it goes really bad when you're traveling like through some area. I don't know. It's usually this is around the time where it usually gets pretty bad.
Yeah, I think we're in the clear now.
Okay. Okay. Well, as I was telling you, is this is basically like I for one of the achievements, it's like uh get kill a boss without getting hit. I used basically like the second main boss I found, and I basically grinded him for like 2 days to get it.
So
But
you can replay the bosses at any time. Is that what
oh
I'm?
no! As soon as I got hit, I just kind of like practiced a little bit and then got killed.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I go explore a little bit of the world if I was bored, and yeah. But no, I made sure to like but yeah, it just okay. But after that, like you saw how fast like I went through the game.
Yeah, I felt like the best way I can describe it is I felt like I was watching you play the Castlevania collection again because like I felt like I gave you the code and then like a few days later I was like, how's it going? And you're like, I'm 90% done. And I was like, how the hell did you do that?
I honestly don't know how I did it. And like I said, I did it like without guides. Like I have to use a guide for like a couple things here and there because I did miss like a couple collectibles, like just like anybody would do. But
Yeah.
they were like in places where like I didn't notice that there was something there to collect, or I just can't, or since I forgot to mark the map to like go back. But it just I don't know how, but I managed to get like just about everything, and like I'm only miss. So yeah, it's honestly like been amazing. I'm pretty sure I'm like at the last two bosses, so I'm hoping to finish this game either tonight or tomorrow.
Nice, man. That's it. Any closing thoughts before you move on?
Honestly, love what they did with the game. If they do the DLC, I'm looking forward to it. I know it's gonna kick my ass, but I'll do my best.
Awesome. Uh, so the last game we have to talk about today, it's a game called Headbangers Rhythm Royale, and it's basically it's exactly like the best way that I can describe it. Imagine a battle royale mixed with Mario Party mixed with a rhythm game, and basically how it works is you are a pigeon, and
Okay.
you can customize your pigeon. You unlock customizable as you go. I was a patriotic cowboy pigeon,
By
and
the way, by the way, do we get are they as handsome as Hatful boyfriend?
well, first off, nobody's as handsome as those pigeons. Those are some handsome ass pigeons. Those 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 pigeons have riz.
They
Uh,
do.
but right away when and just for like clarity purposes, like I play this game on Switch. It has a little calibration test that you can start off with, and one more note I want to say. I don't think I'm going to do a written review for this one because this, like, not that there's not a lot to talk about, but like for a game like this, it's a lot easier for me to verbally tell you about it than it is to write about it because I feel like if I wrote about it, people would assume I'm lying because this game is very fever dreamy.
Don't worry, I
Uh,
assume you're lying anyways.
that's okay. I don't know if I ever told this story on the podcast, but I played Death Stranding for the first time this year, like early this year,
Oh yeah, I
and
remember you telling me that. I mean, I think just told me, but yeah.
but so as I was like after I played it, my wife asked because Death Stranding is like very famous. Like people always talk about how bananas that game is, and she's like, "Well, can you explain the story to me?" And I said, "There's no way for me to explain the story to you without you thinking that I'm lying to you. Like, there's no way, because like I just to see, like I typed up like a summary of the story. I'm going to find it." But I typed up a story and I read it back to myself. It's like, this sounds like a big lie. Uh, I mean, and I feel the same way about this game because like you start off and you do a little calibration test, and basically the calibration test is just to like it just does like a couple like little gameplay prompts just so your rhythm's gonna be right and that like nothing's gonna mess up and cause you to fail the mini games later on. But basically, I will say that I never got further than like 2 rounds. I'm terrible at this game, but
At least you
I
admit it.
play. Look, I will fully tell you. There's a game. Shoot, what was it?
Guitar
Texas
Hero.
Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't think I won a single round as a survivor in that game. Like, but I tried. I did my damnedest. Uh, and I felt the same way here. Basically, it is you get put in a match, like you get put into the matchmaking segment of the game where you're waiting for a certain amount of players. I will say that I don't. I think that this game needs more players because even with crossplay on, I had trouble getting into a full game. Uh, in some instances, I was waiting upwards of about 10 minutes to get into a match. Uh, and basically, it's just like Mario Party when you get to this part because there's like a little randomization, like it spins a wheel and it lands on a random game, and it could be simple as there is a game where you have like it's been like a few days since I played it, but uh, the one mini game that I was stupidly good at for no reason was there was another pigeon on stage, and you had to push a button every time it made a sound. And every round that would go by, it would add more pigeons to the stage, and it turned into chaos really really fast because like they're all making sounds at one time, and you're having to push a different button to like register each sound. So like I was so stupidly good at this game. It was the one time that I felt like I was doing okay.
You know, all
Uh,
I can think of is Bop It.
yeah, I mean you're not wrong. Uh, and there's another game where like yeah, you have to basically hit a button to hit a ball, and you have to time it just right. And as the game goes like as it goes on, it obstructs your view of the ball a little bit, so where you kind of have to just time it correctly. But it's kind of hard to do that because the ball moves at different speeds at each ball. There was another one where you have to basically you have to all of they're all rhythm based, so it all just comes down to it's they're all either rhythm based or sound based. So if you're going to play this game, I would definitely have I definitely wear earbuds. But yeah, it's and the one real knock that I have to give the game is that I feel like after you play about 10 rounds, you're probably at that point you've probably seen all this game has to offer you, and you're basically just playing the same games over and over at that point.
That's true.
Uh, but I will say that if you can get some friends together, I would definitely recommend this game because it seems like I remember the first time that I when you get into the matchmaking lobby, you can basically push I think it's the A button, and your pigeon makes a sound, and you can like rotate its neck around. And I laughed so hard making this little pigeon make random noises.
That does sound very fun.
It's a charming little game. It's fun to play. It's got cross play, so if uh, if you want to play with friends on other consoles, you can do that. Uh, but yeah, all in all, just a really enjoyable little game. It just feels like I wish it would have a little bit more going for it, and they can and obviously it's a smaller game, and I just feel like they need more players to keep it sustainable. Like I said, I don't think I got into a single full game,
Oh,
but it was never like shallow, if that makes sense. Like there was still
yeah,
like a sizable amount of people, but never the max.
yeah,
But yeah, and that's the end of our reviews for now.
yeah.
So just to give people a taste of what I think, you're still finishing up Blasphemous, and
Yeah.
then me and you are going to do a joint review of a game called Doomsday Paradise. I have the written review finished, and then me and you are going to talk about like our experiences with the game on a podcast episode in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Uh, I actually I've got another code that I was assigned to me. It was assigned to me. Uh, it's some kind of RPG that I haven't really looked into yet. Uh, but then I also got there is a game that we did an early access build of It was one of the first games we reviewed, and uh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's Blood West. Uh, I just can't give any thoughts, which there is a review embargo on it.
Yeah.
But uh, I basically got the code for the full release that doesn't
Nice.
come out until December.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm going to be taking a look at. I know that this code unlocks the final chapter of the game. Like before, it was just chapters 1 and 2, and now this puts chapter 3 in there, and it also adds in a voice actor. Uh, I don't recall the guy's name off the top of my head, but I did watch the trailer showcasing this,
Yeah.
and the two things that I did get from the trailer is it really seems like first off, the voice actor is phenomenal. Second off, uh, the build that I played of this game, there was very little ammo, and as such, it really dissuaded you from getting into combat. There is so much combat in this trailer. So what I'm hoping is that in this final release, they really bumped it up to make it feel like a first-person shooter and not a stealth game. Because one of my not really complaints, but issues that I had with the game is that it was billed as a stealth horror FPS, but
Yeah.
I wanted to play. I like the stealth aspect of it was uh, like for the main enemies specifically. If you don't like the hitbox was kind of inaccurate, where a headshot didn't exactly mean a headshot, where you had to hit a very specific spot, and if you didn't, your shot just didn't count.
Oh, that's annoying.
Uh, it was annoying, but I really liked everything else about the game. Other than that, and I think that the best way for them to address that is either fix the hitbox or give you a lot more ammo. And at least from the trailer, that seems what they're doing. So I'm really excited to review it. Uh, but other than that, the only other thing I've got to add on to this episode is if you made it this far,
Thank you.
yes, thank you. But I have a casino show, two more casino shows coming up on December 1st and 2nd. It's 8 p.m. to midnight. So you should definitely come to that. It's free to get in, and the only time you have to spend money is if you want to buy something, or if you want, wink. Uh, but yeah, Leo, thanks for joining me. We got a lot of reviews done here today, and we got a lot more coming. And thank you guys for
Yeah,
listening.
we do. Thank you, guys.